Yo, what is up guys? Stelboy here, aka Blue Collar Sports TV. Hopefully you guys are doing well. If you're new here, smash that like, hit subscribe, all of that good stuff. So this video is a quick preview and prediction for Leigh versus Josh Warrington. Right off the bat, I have to say, I am actually looking forward to this fight. I think stylistically, it's intriguing. I believe both guys have tools in which can really harm the other. I believe that the style clash for this fight makes for an intriguing fight and more than likely an entertaining fight, which is all that matters. And yeah, I am looking forward to this bout, I can't lie. The only criticism, not even criticism, but the only thing I can say is, does Josh Warrington really deserve this fight? In my opinion, no, but that is by the by, it is what it is. We have this fight, and yeah, I am looking forward to it. Of course, Leigh is the WBA champion. He himself had a surprising rise to world level. For many years, he was toiling away at domestic level. Didn't really look like he could go above that. But in recent years, he's found a new lease of life with Ben Davison, and he's done well in recent times. Josh Warrington himself had success at world level a couple of years ago. It's an intriguing clash. Let's briefly break down the tale of the tape. We shall start with the champion Leigh. Leigh has a record of 27 wins, 3 defeats, 16 of his 27 wins coming by way of knockout. Josh Warrington has a record of 31 wins, 2 defeats, 1 draw, 8 of his 31 wins coming by way of knockout. Leigh is listed as 5'7" with a 67-inch reach, whereas Josh Warrington is also listed as 5'7" with a 67-inch reach. So both guys, according to the tale of the tape, are the same height, the same length, but I would say, looking at both guys, to me, Leigh appears the bigger guy at the weight. And also, I'll be honest, I do think Leigh looks a little taller. So I think Leigh is the naturally bigger guy. I could be wrong on that, but who knows. Both of these guys are orthodox fighters. And Leigh is 35 years old. Josh Warrington is 32 years old. Leigh is coming towards the end of his career, no doubt, especially at featherweight, 35 years old. He's not exactly a spring chicken. Warrington is a bit younger, but he's had more hard fights, I would say, at world level. So both of these guys are coming towards the end, in my opinion, but both guys are operating on a good level. Also, by the way, I failed to mention this fight goes down on DAZN, and it takes place in the Sheffield Arena in the UK, obviously in Sheffield, neutral territory. And that's one thing I will say, the atmosphere for this fight, maybe one of the best atmospheres of any fights in 2023. Both of these fighters have a large contingent of football fans following them. Leigh Sheffield United fans, and Josh Warrington, Leeds United fans. It could get quite tasty in the stadium. I believe actually Leigh fans and Josh Warrington fans are being segregated for this fight. Could make for a good atmosphere. But regardless, it's a great fight, and it's a fight in which I find hard to call. I can see this fight going any way. I can see either guy winning on points. I could see either guy getting stopped. I could even see a draw. It's one of those sort of fights. To me, this is a coin flip. It's a 50-50. And yeah, looking forward to it. But let's break down the tale of the tape. And we'll start with Josh Warrington. To me, Josh Warrington in this fight is the guy who is the buzzsaw. He's the guy who is the pressure fighter, the come-forward fighter, the guy who likes to stay glued to your chest. He likes to beat you based on attrition. We saw that against Lee Selby. We saw that against Carl Frampton. He tried to do that against Bernardo Lopez in his last fight. He's a fit guy, he's a strong guy, he's durable, he's got a good chin, not the greatest boxer, but, he's a well-conditioned fighter. And for me, his best chances of winning this fight is to apply that, obviously. Leigh is a kind of a straight-up boxer-puncher, primarily likes to get behind that jab. He's got a hard jab, good straight right hand behind it. He can counter you coming in with the left hook. He does his best work on the outside and at mid-range with that boxer puncher style. Josh Warrington, to me, has the massive advantage on the inside. I think he's more comfortable in the pocket. And obviously Warrington needs to get there in this fight. He needs to get to the inside, and he needs to stay there as long as possible. For me, Warrington needs to apply quick feet in this fight. Don't let Leigh Wood settle behind the jab and settle at range. Warrington needs to fight in quick bursts, similar to how he did against Trampton, against Selby. Close the distance quickly, double jab, jab, double jab, get low, get in the inside, and work away. Pick your moments, rinse and repeat, but try to primarily do your work, your combinations up close. Leigh Wood, to me, isn't the greatest inside fighter in the world. I don't think his defense is particularly great on the inside. He's got a decent uppercut on the inside, but that's really it. Warrington should be able to outwork Leigh Wood on the inside. But obviously he needs to be careful coming in. I think Warrington needs to use that jab while coming in, single and double. Also, the high guard of Warrington is something that I've always felt it needs to be improved. Warrington's guard is pretty wide at times, which gives Leigh Wood the opportunity to land that jab and to land that straight right hand as Warrington comes in. I think Warrington needs to be a lot more compact on the outside when he's waiting for his moments. Nice and tight, nice and compact, good guard, and basically don't engage Leigh Wood in that long-range boxing match. Don't give Leigh Wood the opportunity to land those powerful straight punches from the outside. You know, when Warrington is looking for his moments, I want to see him circling Leigh Wood. I want to see him using lateral movement, high guard, staying away from Wood, and then changing the angle, changing the momentum, and quickly making bursts to the inside to try and launch almost like a raid type attacks. Rinse and repeat. I think Josh Warrington, he's a pressure fighter, but I think his pressure is more effective when he fights in bursts. He's got himself in trouble when he stays on the inside too long, like for example against Kiko Martinez in their first fight, and even the second fight where he got his jaw broken. Sometimes Warrington gets a little greedy on the inside, and he needs to be wary of that in this fight. Again, not that Leigh Wood's a great inside fighter, but he's got a mean uppercut, so Warrington needs to be aware of that. I think he's open for that shot, because he kind of comes in, he kind of leads his head over his front foot, so his head is on centre line, and he is open for an uppercut. For me, Josh Warrington needs to get in and out, get in, do his work, 3 or 4 punch combination, get out, reset, and when you reset, when you're looking for the next opportunity, don't engage Leigh Wood in a long range boxing match. I think Leigh Wood from the outside has better skills. He's a harder puncher from the outside, and I think he can make those shots tell more than Josh Warrington. I'm not saying Warrington should do nothing on the outside. Obviously, he's got to use his jab. He needs to try and pick up points, but you know what I mean. Don't engage Leigh Wood in that sort of fight. Do it on your terms, so to speak. But for me, Warrington, his fight is on the inside here. Up close, in the pocket, work that body of Leigh Wood. Leigh Wood's a massive featherweight, by the way. There's been rumours in the past that he's struggled to make weight, things like that. Work that body. Warrington's a buzzsaw to the body. Yes, he's not the biggest puncher, but he throws enough punches to where they can take a toll and take an effect, especially late on in a tough fight. I actually think Warrington can hurt Leigh Wood. I'm not convinced by Leigh Wood's chin, particularly in a high octane fight. I think the stoppage could be there for Josh Warrington if he goes to the body early enough and tries to deplete Leigh Wood. But yeah, for me, the game plan for Warrington is pretty simple. Is to get on the inside, work, get out, rinse and repeat, in and out type of style, ambush type of style, ambush / pressure fighting / inside fighting. As for Leigh Wood, again, he is the better straight up and down boxer. I think he is the harder puncher. I think he's got better punch technique, and he's certainly better from the outside. Leigh Wood needs to be very active with his jab in this fight, singles and doubles, body to head, etc., changing the levels with it, trying to unlock openings for the straight right hand from the outside. By using that jab, by using that lead hand, again, doubling the jab, single jab, up, down, feinting the jab, try to get that right hand behind it, disguise it, give Josh Warrington different looks. Also, I'd like to see, I actually think Leigh Wood it may be good for him to actually try and box this fight, try to take the half step back and primarily keep Warrington at range, but fire that right hand when you can. Also that left hook as Warrington closes distance, because Warrington, one thing about Warrington, yeah, he does get low sometimes, but primarily he attacks in straight lines. Look for the left hook. Look for the left hook as that happens. I think the left hook could be there for Leigh Wood. Well, we know Warrington is susceptible to that shot, as we saw with the Lara fight. But yeah, I want to see Leigh Wood box this fight, get behind the jab, half step back, keep the distance, fire that straight right hand down the pipe, and maybe even culminate it with a left hook as well. Again, give Warrington different looks, different combinations, things of that nature. Also, the straight right hand to the pit of the stomach could be an effective punch here against Warrington. Because again, his guard, he holds his guard in a way where his elbows are really far apart. And again, he's coming in straight lines. Try to fire that straight right hand to the pit of the stomach. That shot's going to be there for Leigh Wood. I think that's one thing about Warrington we saw in the, again, in the Lara fight, the first Lara fight, and the Bernardo Lopez fight. I think that Warrington can be tamed to a certain degree to the body. Once you start working his body, it kind of offsets him a little bit. And, naturally starts to drain that gas tank. And that's important against a high output guy who's very fit, like Josh Warrington. The uppercut to the body as well up close could be a good shot for Leigh Wood. Again, Leigh Wood's got a great lead uppercut, great right uppercut. Those shots are going to be there for Leigh Wood. And that's a shot in which he needs to be looking to counter with also. Like I said, Warrington at times has a habit of coming in straight lines. Head over his front foot, hunched over. He is open for the uppercut if you time him coming in. He's open for that shot. Leigh Wood's got a great uppercut, and it's powerful, so he needs to be trying to time Warrington coming in. For me, Leigh Wood needs to vary between boxing with the jab, being the boxer puncher from the outside, to switching it up with counter punches, primarily looking for that left hook as Warrington closes the distance, as well as the uppercut. Like I said, the uppercut should be there for Leigh Wood. For me, both fighters' styles are pretty defined. I can't really see either guy pulling out something that I'm not expecting. I don't see either guy ripping up the rule book and doing something completely different. And for me, the main aspect of this fight is going to come down to whether Leigh Wood can hurt Josh Warrington and whether he can time Josh Warrington. If Leigh Wood can't hurt Warrington, I don't think he wins this fight. I don't think he wins this fight because I don't think he can match him in terms of output, in terms of work rate. I think he needs to hurt Warrington. And yes, we saw Warrington he got brutally knocked out by Lara, but Lara's a massive, massive puncher. And I have a feeling that in terms of single punch power, Lara hits harder than Leigh Wood. That's just the impression I get. And we saw in the Bernardo Lopez fight that Warrington can still take a punch. Lopez can crack, ask Michael Conlon. And Warrington took the shots quite well. I think if he does that against Leigh Wood, he wins. More than likely on points, but I think he wins. This fight is hard to call. But again, I'm speculating that Warrington's chin is still solid. Bear in mind, you know, he did get knocked out by Lara. He got his jaw broke by Kiko Martinez in their second fight. But again, in Warrington's last fight, he took the shots quite well. Doesn't always mean it's going to be the case for this fight. Basically, that's what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say, I think this fight purely comes down to how well Josh Warrington takes Leigh Wood's power. And I'm going out on a limb here. I'm going to say Warrington does take Leigh Wood's power. And I think then he's got the foot speed to close the distance. And I think he's got the engine to outwork Leigh Wood. But I'm expecting a very good fight. I'm expecting a very competitive fight. But I think my final prediction is Josh Warrington on points. I'm not saying UD split decision, MD or anything like that. I'm just saying Josh Warrington on points. But I have to say, I am not confident in my pick whatsoever. That means it's a good fight. That means it's a good fight. I can't see this one being boring, guys. I really can't. I'd be very surprised if this fight is a damp squib. Really, really good main event. Looking forward to it. I think Matchroom needed this type of show, actually, to be honest. In the UK, they needed this type of headliner because it's felt like in recent months, Matchroom haven't put anything decent on in the UK. This is a great fight. And also, by the way, just a quick little shout out for another good fight on the undercard. Kieran Conway versus Linus Adofia at 160. That's a good domestic fight. Linus Adofia is from my neck of the woods in Luton, so I hope he wins. But that is a good fight. That's a good fight. But yeah, man, I'm actually looking forward to this fight. Del Boy's being positive. Who could believe it? I'm looking forward to it, though. But my final pick, Josh Warrington on points with 0 confidence. Share your thoughts below. Who do you think's winning this fight? Peace.